everybody, and welcome to this week's Guide Roundtable. I'm Slade Fedor here with Keith Smith and Brendan Billinger. Ryan couldn't join us this week. He's over in Thermopolis. We've got a big group trip over there, so we're kind of holding down the Gray Reef chapter here. So, but fishing's still good. We've kind of been fishing all up and down the river, as we told you before. But Keith was going to show you a few bugs here. Some stuff that he's been fishing, and you want to kick that, Keith?
Yeah. So we've had an incredible beta hatch all the way from Gray Reef Dam, coming all the way into town. It's been really good. Actually seeing some fish on the surface when we don't have a wind, which is kind of rare. But there is an opportunity for some dry fly fishing out there. But the most flies we've been using are the nymphs. My favorite is the purpleback Baetis nymph. Nymph. It's a nice little, cute little imitation of the Baetis nymph. And the other one, Baetis nymph, that I have is the split back foam that I've been fishing quite a bit, having great success with, trying to match that Baetis hatch. Along with the Baetis hatch, we get the midge hatch. Those patterns, I've been using the Halo midge, and the Bionic. The Bionic in the cream and olive color. Apparently my forceps are magnetic, so they're sticking. Fun stuff. So those are the smaller flies that I've been fishing. Really productive.
What
Big
size
fish.
are you using on those? How small are you getting?
I'm going about 16 at the largest, 22 to the smallest. So average size of the midges are 16. Been holding a lot of good fish, and it's been
A little heavier
pretty good.
tippet then too. So
Yep, tippet.
Big fish.
Yep, so 3x, 4x tippet to those little flies. Some of the bigger flies that I've been using, the manila bugger. It's kind of imitating the crane fly larva, which is actually starting to hatch. We've seen some crane fly larva in some fish that we've been pumping, and I think someone's seen some adults fly.
Yeah.
So kind of fun to see that. Big brown trout. Definitely prey on those.
And are you dead drifting those,
Yeah.
Keith? I know a lot of people fish those as a streamer too, which works really well, but that smallest size under the bobber seems to work really well.
Yep, it's great dead drift, and then get that swing at the very end of your drift, and you'll pick up some fish on that swing, moving it through it. Those little baby fish, they're starting to hatch, and so it gives a good imitation of that fry. Those fish want to chase those smaller flies, thinking that it's a fry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and with the wind, and when you mend your flies anyway, you're moving that bobber.
Get that mend and get that little twitch. And soon, right after that, that fish hits, and everybody's like, "Oh, he hit me right in the middle of my mend." So,
think about why.
Imitate that.
Get ready to mend, set. So they're fun. Along with the manila bugger, been using the pine squirrel leech as well. Kind of dropping these two off.
And then do you put a midge underneath those, or just running those two?
I've just been running the big flies and then the small flies.
Separate.
Been mini rigging, and then which Theodore Slade's going to talk about.
So we've talked about this a bunch, the mini rig, but we were just going to kind of show you how we've been doing this, and I'll have Mark get some close-ups here. But we're just running basically a level line rig. So we got a small butt section. I just cut this off my rod, but small butt section of a leader, maybe, 15, 16 inches. We're tying a loop into this grommet of these thingamabobbers, and you can rig it differently if you fish different indicators, but this is how I've been running it. And then I'm going to run about 2.5 feet of 2X. I'll put my weight right here, tie a blood knot here to some 3X tippet.
What size weight are you using usually?
Usually a BB. I was running an AB through some of those sections today, getting it on those faster banks.
Yeah, get it down fast.
Depends on which water, but play around with that a little bit. But with this level line, you don't have any tapered leader, so a BB is plenty most of the time to just sink that straight down. And that's the beauty of this rig, is that it sinks. And you can fish the banks, fishing towards the bank, real shallow water. If you see fish rising, especially if they're eating midges, pop that weight off,
Cool.
you know, set it over them. And so, yeah, running my second bug, I've got just the RS2, Mark's Foam RS2, and then a Halo midge. And we kind of ran this, you know, for the last few days. Still getting a lot of fish on that rockworm, so I wouldn't necessarily take that off yet.
It's a great fly.
You know, it's fun when they do eat the bugs, and they are eating the Baetis and the midge, but the rockworm is still pumping out a lot of fish. So, you know, if it gets slow, I'll put a second rockworm on to a midge on the back. But that's kind of the mini rig that we've been running. You know, another thing I've been doing is running a real short leader, especially when these fish are rising and you have some difficulty with clients. You know, some people have a tough time presenting that dry fly right. So I'll just use, you know, a little foam pinch on sticky indicator, you know,
Oh, yeah. Cool.
2 feet above my bugs, and let them sink a little bit, you know, because those fish are still eating those emergers
I bet it
subsurface.
casts better in the wind, too.
It casts a lot better, and you have something you can physically look at instead of the 22 out there. Like,
Yeah.
so that's been working really well for me too, and I'll have Mark get a close up of that rig too. So,
And all these flies are available at the shop.
Yeah.
At the Platte River Fly
Platte River
Shop.
Fly Shop.
got a bunch of new Halo midges just came in with that bead head on them. They're really nice.
Now
Some of these
through-
flies are exclusive at this shop, too. So,
Yeah, now through like late June. I love the Halo.
Hmm
That's like my favorite.
That was one of our top producers today. Was that Halo midge in a 16? You know, the bigger one.
Right.
They were ripping them apart. So.
So, Bean, we got some fun, exciting stuff coming up here next week, right?
Yeah, the two fly. It'll be here the Thursday and Friday, the 7th and the 8th. There's going to be 34 boats on the river.
Just with the tournament.
Just with the tournament, yeah. So plan ahead. You know, think about where you want to fish. The mile is always a good choice. Some different sections we're going to put on around 8:30.
8:30, take off at 4, and it's at
Yeah.
those 2 days at 7th, 8th, right?
Yep, and you guys are all welcome to still come here. We're not telling you it's closed, but there's going to be some traffic on the river those days. So
Sure.
just giving you a heads up, you know, put in behind or in front, and you won't even see us. But
Yeah.
it's going to be busy for those 2 days. That's kind of the big tournament that this river sees every year. So.
And it's a great fundraiser for anyone that doesn't know it. They've raised $1.25 million in the
Yeah,
last
1.25 million in the 11
11
years
years.
that we've been doing it.
So
All goes to
Local charities.
local charities, great local charities.
another thing is streamer fishing. Slade and I finally got. We're starting to find them, and
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. And it
great.
started
It's
happening.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a half day tomorrow that we're going to go through the Narrows streamer fishing, so
Sweet.
hopefully it'll work.
Absolutely.
It should.
That's
Yeah.
looking good.
And then also weather. It's spring. It's not even May yet. Make sure that you have, waders available, light jackets, layers.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys use, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely use the Sims gear, very reliable. It's great stuff.
Sims and Patagonia, like a nice windbreaker is great. When it's going to be 70 degrees, it's 50 in the morning and a little breeze. So a little jacket to keep the wind off. And so, yeah, I can't think
Perfect.
of anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still trying to work out the details on the half-day float, right?
Yeah, we're gonna that contest. We're gonna let it run for a couple of weeks, but once the boss and the whole crew get back, we're gonna we'll get that out to you guys as soon as we can here in the next few days. We probably won't have a fishing report next Thursday because we'll be pretty consumed with that tournament.
It'll be busy.
But we'll come back with a good one after a week off, and we'll announce the contest and all the prizes. But there will be a guided trip in there involved too. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Great. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for the great year.
Have fun fishing.